Let me ask you something simple, but something that has the power to transform your entire life. What does success mean to you? Not what society says it means, not what your parents, your boss, your friends, or Instagram tells you it should be, not what the world has conditioned you to believe. I mean you. You in the quiet moments, you in your soul. Strip away the noise, strip away the pressure, strip away the need to prove anything. What does success truly mean to you? Defining success, life on your terms. For some, success is 3 beautiful children, a partner you trust and grow with, a home filled with laughter. For others, it's building a billion-dollar company that changes industries. For someone else, it's becoming a world-class artist, writer, teacher, healer, or even just finding peace in solitude. Success is doing what you want, when you want, where you want, with whom you want, as much as you want. But here's the catch. You can't hit a target you don't see. You can't win the game if you don't even know what game you're playing. And that's where 99% of people get stuck. They don't have a compelling vision for their life. They don't have clarity. Clarity creates power. Clarity is a power. If you don't know where you're going, you'll be thrown around by life like a leaf in the wind. You'll fall into comparison, distraction, self-doubt. You'll end up living someone else's dream and calling it ambition. But when you get clear, when you really lock in on what success means to you, suddenly the world starts moving differently. You walk with more certainty. You speak with more conviction. You get up in the morning with energy, not because you're motivated, but because you're aligned. That's the secret to unstoppable energy. Step 1, master your inner world. Before you master your finances, your business, your body, your career, you have to master this. Where is your focus going? Because focus, feeling, and feeling drives behavior, and behavior creates results. Where focus goes, energy flows. Most people focus on what they don't have. They focus on what's missing. They focus on what they can't control. That's a recipe for anxiety, depression, burnout. But what if you flipped the script? What if instead you focused on what's working, what you're grateful for, what you can do today, the opportunities in front of you right now? That one shift in focus changes your emotional state, and your emotional state determines your ability to take meaningful action. So ask yourself, where is my focus going today? If you can't control the external world, and let's be honest, you can't, then take dominion over your internal world. That's where your power lives. Step 2, the real enemies. Let me tell you something. There are 2 emotional states that kill success, fear and anger. Fear keeps you stuck. It convinces you to wait until you're ready. Anger steals your focus. It makes you reactive, bitter, and tired. But here's the good news. You cannot be fearful and grateful at the same time. You cannot be angry and grateful at the same time. Gratitude is the antidote. So what do you do when you're stuck in fear? You move your body. You change your physiology. You breathe, you shout, you shift your focus. You say, not today. And what do you do when you're overwhelmed by anger? You choose to find something good in the moment, even if it's just a little thing. This isn't positive thinking. This is emotional intelligence. It's learning to discipline your disappointments so they don't grow into monsters that devour your potential. Step 3, from proving to pulling. Most people start with push motivation. I'll show them. I'm going to prove I'm enough. I'm going to win no matter what. And hey, push is fine. It gets you started. It gets you out of the rut. But push won't sustain you. Eventually, your willpower runs out. You'll hit a wall. The next level is pull motivation. That's when something bigger than you is pulling you forward. There's a limit to how much willpower you have, but there's no limit to the energy you'll have when you're being pulled by something bigger than yourself. Pull comes from purpose. Pull comes from vision. Pull comes from a mission. You believe in so much, it would feel wrong not to pursue it. You want to wake up energized? You want to move with certainty? Get pulled. Step 4, action creates confidence. A lot of people say, I'll act when I feel confident, but that's backwards. Wishing for confidence without competence is delusion. You don't need confidence to act. You need to act. To build confidence, do the reps. Steph Curry didn't become the best three-point shooter of all time by waiting for confidence. He took 500 shots a day, 7 days a week, year after year, for 15 plus years. Do the math. That's over 2 million shots. So when he turns around before the ball even hits the net, that's not arrogance. That's certainty built through repetition. You get rewarded in public for what you practice in private. So let me ask you right now, what shots are you taking today? What reps are you stacking? Success doesn't happen suddenly. It happens silently when no one's watching. Step 5, build meaning, not just esteem. People are obsessed with self-esteem. They want to feel good about themselves. They want praise, recognition, compliments. But self-esteem isn't given. Self-esteem is earned. Real self-esteem comes from doing incredibly difficult things that matter. It doesn't come from people clapping. It comes from you knowing deep in your soul that you've done the work. When you do something hard, when you overcome resistance, when you show up consistently for a dream you believe in, that's when you begin to build an identity that says, I'm the kind of person who shows up. But here's the twist. If you want to feel less obsessed with yourself, if you want to stop asking, am I enough? All the time, find something you care about more than yourself. The moment your mission becomes about service, whether that's your family, your clients, your community, your creator, you forget about your ego. And in that forgetting, you find a kind of strength and energy that's unstoppable. Step 6, the mirror and the mask. Let me ask you this. Are you living your life or someone else's version of what your life should be? So many people are wearing masks, pretending to be something they're not. They hustle not out of purpose, but out of fear. But spiritual development, as I define it, is simply this: the level of comfort you have with being your real self. Most people are afraid to be seen, but you want freedom? You want peace? Stop trying to prove and just start being. Yes, you can improve. Yes, you can grow. But that growth should come from love, not shame, from purpose, not pressure. Step 7, the hero's journey. There's a moment in life where you have to slay your dragons. You go through pain, you fall down, you question everything. You lose people, you lose hope. But if you keep going, if you choose to rise, you come out the other side, not just wiser, but stronger. And when you do, you have something powerful: ownership. You're no longer quoting things from books. You're no longer parroting what you've heard. You've lived it, you've earned it. And when you speak, people feel it. Step 8, you are the meaning maker. Here's a core truth. We don't experience life. We experience the life we focus on. And every time you focus on something, anything, your brain has to decide what it means. Let that sink in. Your brain doesn't just absorb information, it assigns meaning. And meaning, chakra, emotion. Think about that. It's not the events of your life that shape you, it's the meaning you give them. And that means you have power right now to reframe anything. You got rejected? Maybe it means you're being redirected. You failed? Maybe it means you're learning what doesn't work. You hit rock bottom? Maybe it's the firmest foundation you'll ever build on. But it's your choice. You are the meaning maker. Change your story and you'll change your life. Step 9. The storm was the gift. Some of you have been through hell. Maybe it was trauma. Maybe it was betrayal, loss, abuse, bankruptcy, addiction, pain that you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. And it's tempting to look back and say, if only that hadn't happened, I'd be further ahead. But I want to offer you something powerful. What if that experience was part of your design? What if it didn't happen to you, but happened for you? Life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. Now, I'm not saying it was fair. I'm not saying it didn't hurt, but I'm saying you have the power now to decide how to use it. Will it define you, or will it refine you? When you look back at 5, 10, 15 years later, you may realize the loneliness gave you independence. The abandonment made you resourceful. The chaos taught you how to create peace. The rejection made you courageous. The storm was the teacher. The scar became your strength. Step 10. You were built for this. You know why you haven't given up? Because you were built for more. There's something in you, call it God, Spirit, Source, your higher self, that keeps whispering. Get back up. It doesn't yell, it whispers, but it never stops speaking. It says, you are more than your past. You are more than your pain. You are more than your doubts. You were built for growth. You were built for greatness. And that voice, that's your real identity. Not the fear, not the pain, not the limitation, but the fire that keeps showing up. Step 11, back to the questions. So let's bring it home. You started with 2 questions. What does success mean to me? What specific actions can I take today to reach my goal? Let's go deeper on both. What does success mean to me? Don't leave it in your head. Your head is a dangerous neighborhood to wander alone. Pull it out into the light. See it, touch it, refine it. Ask yourself, what does a successful day look like to me? Who do I want to become? What legacy do I want to leave? What do I want to feel at the end of my life? Don't settle for vague. Get specific. Make it so vivid you can smell it, taste it, hear it, and most importantly, make it yours. Your vision, not society's, not your parents', and not your industry's. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Tony Robbins. What specific actions can I take today? Once you're clear on what success looks like, you need to translate that into daily behaviors, because goals without rituals are just wishes. Here are actions you can take today. 1. Change your state. Your body is your shortcut to transformation. Want to change how you feel? Move differently. Breathe deeper, stand taller, smile bigger. You can't feel depressed while dancing like a maniac. You can't feel powerless while breathing like a warrior. Your state determines your story. Your story determines your strategy. 2. Ask better questions. Stop asking, why am I stuck? Start asking, how can I turn this around? Trade expectation for appreciation. Trade blame for ownership. Trade what if it fails for what if it works. Your brain is a search engine. Feed it powerful questions. 3. Do one hard thing today. Confidence is earned through challenge. Pick one thing that scares you or stretches you and do it. Make the call, hit publish, say no, say yes. Start the project. Go to the gym. Your future self is watching. Don't let them down. 4. Feed your mind. Success leaves clues. Read, listen, watch, learn. Turn your commute into a classroom. Turn your downtime into growth time. The person who feeds their mind daily will outperform someone with more talent, but less training. 5. Serve someone else. Call someone. Encourage someone. Help someone move forward. Even the smallest act of kindness lifts you. The secret to living is giving. It's impossible to be stuck in self-pity when you're giving from the heart. Create a compass, not a clock. Most people live by clocks, checking how fast they're going, but you need a compass. Something that keeps you pointed toward your true north. It doesn't matter if you get there in 3 years or 30. If it matters to you, if it aligns with who you are, it's worth the effort. Forget fast. Choose faithful. Forget pressure. Choose purpose. Success is a pattern, not a mystery. Let me remind you, success is not luck. It's not magic. It's not meant to be. It's a set of patterns. Emotional, psychological, physical, strategic, that can be studied, applied, repeated. And that means anyone can succeed when they build the patterns into their life. So start with these. Get clear. Take massive action. Adapt as you go. Celebrate small wins. Keep your standards high. Associate with people who stretch you. Never make it just about you. Own your life completely. The price is high, but so is the reward. Let's be honest. Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, there will be setbacks. Yes, people will doubt you. Even you will doubt you. But let me ask you something powerful. Is the pain of discipline less than the pain of regret? Because the pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. You don't want to look back in 5 years and say, I could have, I should have, I wish I had. You want to say, I gave it everything. I left nothing on the table. I went all in. That's the freedom you're really after. Your turn. Step into the arena. This is your life. This is your story. And right now, you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to safety, excuses, familiarity, comfort. The other leads to growth, challenge, fulfillment, transformation. You can stay silent, or you can step into the arena. You can keep overthinking, or you can take one bold action. You can keep asking if you're ready, or you can decide that you are. The only impossible journey is the one you never begin. Final charge. Today is the day. Look in the mirror today and say to yourself, this is my moment. This is my life. I define success on my terms, and I take action toward it today. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for perfection. Don't wait for the fear to leave. Start scared, start small, but start. Because success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who show up.